Welcome to Prehistoric Earth, where we delve into the profound depths of time, allowing the ancient echoes of our planet to unfold with a deliberate pace, inviting both curiosity and calm reflection. Today, our focus narrows to a creature whose very name evokes a primal awe, a name etched into the very fabric of our collective imagination. Tyrannosaurus rex. It stands as an immutable symbol of untamed power, a colossal shadow that dominated the twilight of the Cretaceous period. Yet, beyond the popular, often sensationalized, image of the roaring, rampaging beast, what was its true nature? What was the intricate tapestry of its daily existence like in a world long vanished? And how much of what we think we know is merely a fragmented whisper, a fleeting silhouette against the vast canvas of prehistory, still waiting to be illuminated by the patient, unyielding light of dedicated scientific inquiry? Join us now, not for a superficial survey, but for a prolonged, immersive journey, as we meticulously peel back the geological layers, piece by fossilized piece, to understand the life, the enduring mysteries, and the ever-evolving, scientifically rigorous portrait of the magnificent creature that once held undisputed dominion over its ancient domain. This is the story of Tyrannosaurus rex, told slowly, deliberately, as the Earth itself tells time. Our extraordinary journey into the world of Tyrannosaurus rex does not begin with the fully formed colossus itself, but rather with the vibrant, dynamic world it inhabited and the remarkable evolutionary lineage from which it so majestically arose. Imagine, if you will, a time stretching back approximately 80 to 70 million years ago, a pivotal and dramatic epoch known as the Late Cretaceous period. This was a planet undergoing profound geological and climatic transformations. The supercontinent Pangaea had long since fragmented, its massive tectonic plates grinding, colliding, and drifting apart, tirelessly sculpting the nascent, yet still alien, continental land masses that we might vaguely recognize today. North America, for instance, was then radically different from its modern configuration. It was famously divided by the vast western interior seaway, an immense, shallow inland ocean that effectively split the continent into two distinct terrestrial land masses: Laramida, a narrow, elongated island continent stretching along what is now the western spine of North America, and Appalachia, its eastern counterpart. This unique geographical arrangement fostered distinct ecosystems and evolutionary pressures on either side. The global climate of the late Cretaceous was generally warmer than it is today, largely due to higher atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, which created a pronounced greenhouse effect. This warmth fostered incredibly diverse and productive ecosystems, even in regions that are now temperate or Arctic. Lush, subtropical forests of towering conifers, vibrant ferns, and increasingly dominant flowering plants, known as angiosperms, carpeted much of the land, stretching remarkably far into what are now higher latitudes. Sprawling floodplains, crisscrossed by meandering rivers, and extensive coastal swamps fringed the inland seas, all teeming with an astonishing array of life. This was a world of verdant abundance, a complex, interconnected web of life that supported immense populations of both plant-eaters and predators. This rich, energetic, and highly competitive stage was precisely where the grand narrative of Tyrannosaurus rex would play out, a backdrop of both opportunity and peril. It is perhaps an innate human tendency, a primal instinct, to envision Tyrannosaurus rex as a sudden, monstrous apparition, an instantaneous, terrifying embodiment of raw power, emerging fully formed in all its terrifying glory. Yet, the true story of its genesis, like all profound and enduring evolutionary tales, is far more nuanced, infinitely more gradual, and immeasurably more intricate than a simple burst of creation. The lineage of Tyrannosaurs, collectively known as Tyrannosauroids, boasts a deep and extensive history that stretches back much further into Earth's deep time, originating during the Middle and even early Jurassic periods, some 100 million years before the celebrated advent of Tyrannosaurus rex itself. Picture their early representatives, agile, often slender, and comparatively modest-sized predators. Consider Guanlongwu from the Shishugu Formation in China, dated to approximately 160 million years ago. This early tyrannosauroid, perhaps only about 3 meters 10 feet long, was notable for its distinctive, ornate crest on its head and long, three-fingered hands, a far cry from the two-fingered arms of its future descendant. Or envision the long paradoxus, another remarkable Chinese find from around 125 million years ago, significant for the clear impressions of primitive, filamentous feathers preserved alongside its bones, hinting that even early tyrannosaurs might have been at least partially feathered. These were not the undisputed kings of their nascent ecosystems. Instead, they were integral, albeit not dominant, components of a diverse predatory landscape, often sharing their territories with other formidable large meat-eating dinosaurs like allosauroids and megalosauroids. They were not at the top of the food chain, but they were learning, adapting, and refining the basic tyrannosauroid body plan. Over the ensuing tens of millions of years, an extraordinary and relentless evolutionary journey unfolded across the northern hemisphere. Natural selection, acting as a tireless and indifferent sculptor, continuously refined the tyrannosauroid body plan in response to the changing availability of prey, shifting environmental pressures, and the relentless dynamics of evolving ecological niches. We observe a clear, progressive trend towards a remarkable increase in overall body size, a pronounced robustification of the skeleton to support that immense mass, and the gradual, but persistent, development of increasingly specialized teeth and incredibly powerful jaws. This was not a sudden, unheralded burst of gigantism, but rather a slow, methodical, and continuous ascent towards the apex predator role. From forms like Utyrannus wally, a massive feathered tyrannosauroid from the early Cretaceous of China, measuring up to 9 meters 30 feet long, to later, more familiar and geographically widespread shapes, such as Albertosaurus sarcophagus and Daspletosaurus taurusus from the late Cretaceous of North America, we can trace a clear, undeniable evolutionary trajectory. These intermediate tyrannosaurs already displayed many of the hallmarks of their more famous descendant: powerful legs, robust skulls, and a developing bone-crushing bite. They were already major predators in their respective environments, paving the way for something even grander. The Tyrannosaurus rex we know, primarily from fossil discoveries across the Hell Creek Formation in western North America, dating from roughly 68 to 66 million years ago, was thus not an isolated phenomenon or a fortunate evolutionary fluke. It was the magnificent, terrifying, and utterly dominant culmination of this prolonged and arduous evolutionary saga, a living testament to millions of years of relentless adaptation, a biological masterpiece forged in the crucible of deep time, finally reaching its zenith as one of the most formidable and iconic predators to ever grace the face of Earth. Its sheer existence marked the absolute peak of tyrannosauroid evolution. Let us now shift our gaze to the creature itself, the physical embodiment of late Cretaceous might, a truly magnificent and, to its prey, utterly terrifying biological machine, honed over eons of natural selection. Tyrannosaurus rex was, by any and all scientific measures, truly colossal. Adult specimens, painstakingly reconstructed from meticulously excavated fossil bones like the world-renowned Sioux FMNHP 2081 housed at the Field Museum in Chicago, or Scotty RSMP 5-3, from the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, which stands as perhaps the largest and oldest known T-Rex, provide us with a breathtaking, tangible sense of its immense scale, reaching lengths of up to 12 to 13 meters, or approximately 40 to 43 feet, from the tip of its formidable snout to the end of its powerful tail, and weighing an estimated 7 to 9 metric tons, or even more for the largest, most robust individuals. This was a creature whose sheer mass alone commanded an undeniable respect and inspired an inherent dread. Its colossal bulk was not merely for show or a byproduct of random growth. It was a fundamental and integral component of its power, serving as a massive, stable platform for its formidable musculature and providing the necessary momentum for its attacks. And nowhere is that raw, untamed power more vividly encapsulated than in its truly extraordinary jaws and dentition. The skull of a T-Rex, massive, deep, and incredibly robust, housed a formidable array of weaponry. Unlike the blade-like, laterally compressed teeth of many other large predatory dinosaurs, which were primarily designed for slicing through flesh like razors, the teeth of T-Rex were distinctively thick, conical, and deeply rooted in its jaw, often resembling massive, serrated bananas or railroad spikes. This unique morphology allowed for a devastating combination of piercing, crushing, and ripping. The Tyrannosaurus rex possessed a bite force that has been scientifically estimated to be among the strongest of any terrestrial animal, living or extinct. Studies suggest it was capable of generating an astonishing 35,000 to 57,000 newtons of force at the back of its jaws. That translates to roughly 6 to over 8 tons of pressure at the tips of its teeth. Imagine the visceral sound of massive bones splintering, the sheer, unimaginable force required to pulverize the thick femur of a large herbivore or tear through several inches of tough hide and muscle. This extraordinary bone-crushing ability, a specialized feeding strategy known as osteophagy, suggests a predator that was incredibly efficient, maximizing caloric intake by not only consuming the muscle and organs, but also accessing the nutrient-rich marrow and calcium from the bones of its prey, leaving remarkably little to waste in the harsh, competitive realities of the Cretaceous ecosystem. This adaptation allowed it to exploit a food source that most other predators could not, giving it a unique ecological niche. Its powerful hind legs, veritable pillars of dense muscle and bone, were clearly designed for sustained, powerful locomotion. The debate about whether T-Rex was a pure scavenger, relying solely on found carcasses, or an active hunter, has largely been settled in favor of the latter, although it undoubtedly scavenged when the opportunity arose. While biomechanical studies suggest that due to its immense mass and bone structure, it may not have been an Olympic sprinter capable of sustained high speeds over long distances, reaching top speeds perhaps in the range of 18 to 29 kilometers per hour, 11 to 18 miles per hour. Comparable to a running human, its very bulk would have made falling at high speeds physically catastrophic. However, it was certainly capable of rapid bursts of acceleration, sufficient to ambush and run down large, slower-moving herbivorous prey. More importantly, its robust build and the extensive muscle attachment sites on its leg bones suggest an animal capable of prolonged, powerful strides, enduring long periods of travel across its vast territories in search of food. This endurance, rather than sheer blistering speed, would have been a critical advantage for a creature hunting immense herbivores. Then, of course, there are those famously diminutive forelimbs, barely a meter long, equipped with only two functional fingers ending in sharp claws. These arms have been a source of endless fascination, playful speculation, and serious scientific debate. What could have been their purpose on such a massive animal? Were they used to grasp struggling prey close to its powerful jaws, perhaps to hold a struggling triceratops steady? Did they aid in pushing its massive body up from a resting, prone position, acting as leverage? Some hypotheses suggest they might have played a role during mating, helping to hold onto a partner.